what's up, Vox and Hops heads? I'm Matt, the vocals of Cryptop Scene. You're listening to my podcast, Vox and Hops, brought to you by Sound Talent Media. I hope you guys have been having a great week. I hope that you enjoyed my special episode yesterday. That's right, I dropped an extra episode yesterday to honor the fact that Vox and Hops has joined the Sound Talent Media family. Sound Talent Media is a podcast network consisting of 15 amazing podcasts, and I am so stoked to be a part of it. I had a great chat with Dave Shapiro, who is one of the dudes that started the network, and it's a great episode, and if you haven't listened to it, you absolutely should, so that you can get a little bit more insight as to what it means for Vox and Hops to be joining a podcast network. Next week on October 1st is the very first Thirsty Thursday with a live Vox and Hops interview. I'm super stoked to be back with my Thirsty Thursday gang. It's been a few weeks that I've been taken off. We are doing this now once a month, the first Thursday of each month. I will be hosting a live interview at a Thirsty Thursday hang. And next week, October 1st, is the very first, and my guest is none other than Danny Marino, the guitarist of The Agonist, who was the very first Vox and Hops guest ever, so it seemed fitting to make him be the first one to do a live one at a Thirsty Thursday hang. Don't miss it. If you would like to join, please send me a message via the Vox and Hops social media accounts, and I will send you the link, because this is a private event, but if you're cool, I will grant you access. On today's episode, I am with a member of Gaerea. Here it is. This is Vox and Hops, episode number 185.
I warn you, what you are about to hear is very disturbing indeed.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Today, I am with Gaerea. I am super stoked to be with you. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with me. I love this new record, LIMBO, that you guys just released via Season of Mist. It dropped last July, on July 24th. It is a monster of an album. How are you doing? Tell me a little bit about how you are coping with 2020.
Well, thank you for having me first. It's an honor to be speaking to you. And thank you for enjoying the record. Well, it's surely been a weird year for everybody. Fortunately for us, we knew we had a new album coming. We knew we would have a lot of stuff to work on. We still are. We just recorded a video today. So we always try to keep ourselves busy. So the only thing that we really struggled is, of course, the shows that been canceled or postponed. And of course, as rescheduling stuff for next year, because we all know as musicians that most festivals and tours will be overly booked, and all venues will be super booked because everyone is just jumping on 2021. But still, we can't complain because, as I said, we kept ourselves really busy. We had a lot of stuff to work on, videos, of course, all the promotional stuff regarding the album. So, yeah, we had a lot on our plate, and since we didn't have that many shows, or of course, no shows. I think we just played one show in February before the lockdown. We had a lot of time to think about these videos, this album, reply all interviews. Can't complain.
It's true. It's very, very true what you mentioned, that this whole year's schedule is getting transposed to 2021 for all the touring acts. Everyone that released an album in late 2019 or even in 2019 had their whole promotional tour set up. So I feel bad for bands such as yourself, who has a crazy hype right now. And another band that comes to mind is Imperial Triumphant. I think I've seen that festivals have been adding days to help fit all these new cool bands that everyone's going to want to see. So I'm hoping that more festivals go that route once it's safe to start playing shows again.
Well, let's hope, because I'm not worried about festivals like Wacken or Hellfest. I think those festivals can cope. Well, fortunately for them, of course, I'm not wishing bad to anybody, but those big festivals can cope with 1 or 2 years not having the festival, because they might have the structures to hold. But I'm just concerned about all the other small-sized festivals that will probably not happen again, maybe, because tickets and money and funds from local municipals. So, seeing the picture from my country, I don't think... It's not that we have a lot of festivals. We don't have like festivals for more than 5 or 6K people. But all those very small festivals happening from March to end September will be completely lost, I'm afraid.
That's horrible. And I was actually going to bring it up later in the interview that one of the only times that Cryptopsy actually played in Portugal was at the SWR Barroselas Metal Fest, which was in 2013 alongside Cattle Decapitation.
I saw that one.
I think Aggle.
Yeah.
Were you there? It was so cool. It was one of our favorite festivals. They had all these hand painted signs everywhere. It was one of the most like hands-on festivals that I've ever been a part of. So it would be a shame to lose that festival.
Yeah, I don't know about their situation. I know that we are very, very good friends with Tiago and Ricardo and the whole team. It's a very small team. I used to work with them video-wise for the festival. Really, really nice people, very hard-working people, and they are the ones making all those signs that you mentioned. Since the festival is in April, and I know that once they finish their holidays in May or something, they start to gather ideas and build most of things by themselves for the festival, from the stage to the signs to everything. It's this very nice do-it-yourself ambience around the festival, which we all really love.
Absolutely. It was like up in the hills. It sort of felt like in the middle of nowhere in Portugal. It was beautiful. I had a great day that day.
Yeah, it's quite far from the next big city, maybe. It's in between Porto and Braga. Of course, Portugal is not a big country, but it's... I would say the biggest festivals we have in Portugal are not in Porto or even Lisbon. They are afar from these cities, and they still can gather a lot of people from the big cities. And of course, Barroselas brings people from all over the world. It's one thing that we have. Of course, we have 1 or 2 nice festivals in the big cities, but Vagos or even Barroselas are way far from the next big city, which is nice because you always feel this countryside vibe, and you always feel like you're having a really nice heavy metal holiday while you're there.
Absolutely, it was great. It would be a shame to lose it. I'm from Montreal, Canada, as most people know, listening to the podcast. It is a breeding ground for extreme metal. What is it like growing up and coming from Portugal and wanting and inspiring and discovering metal? How did that happen for you?
Well, I'm no different from any other teenage kid in their 15 or 14-year-old when I discovered this music and started to play an instrument in my first bands. And it's not a big of a difference from anybody, but still we still have just one very big artist to mention in Portugal, which is Moonspell, of course. One of those bands that people love to hate, but still they have a kick-ass big following, because the same people that hate on them on the internet are the same ones selling out tickets for their biggest shows here in Portugal. So yeah, it's this love and hate situation that we have for the bands that start to be have some international attention. We've been experienced some of that, of course, in a very minor scale, but we have really nice names in Portugal. We have, of course, Analepsy. Maybe you know them.
Of course,
and they are very good friends of us. It's a very small underground scene where everybody knows each other. If you go to one of these festivals we were talking about, you will see everybody from the metal community that leaves their keyboards at home and and gathers at an event. So it's those moments where you see everybody from the country in these 1, 2, 3, or 4 festivals. So it's not a big scene. Still, there's a lot of respect, a lot of support at some extent. Not many club or venues to play. It's not a touring country. You cannot program like a whole week touring Portugal because we have like 700 kilometers from north to south. So it's ridiculous to think something like that. But yeah, it's from our perspective, it's not been an easy ride with our Portuguese fans, because in the beginning everybody's very skeptical, because we have a lot of bands. Everybody from you will meet at these festivals have like 1 or 2 bands, so it's very hard to impress the Portuguese audience. But once you do it, it's one of the nicest experiences we have. We have most of our biggest fans are people from our city, from Lisbon, that will come to see our shows if they happen in October. So yeah, once you start to impress them, they are the best fans ever.
Absolutely, yes. Vox and Hops is all about hanging out with my metal friends and talking about their lives, music, and craft beer. As you take a sip, what are you sipping on
coffee.
There?
My pleasure.
Coffee is your dirty vice?
Yes, I would say so. A bad habit of mine, because I drink too much of it.
It has a lot of effects. It as does my vice of pleasure, which today will be this brand new Pilsner that just came out here in Montreal from Brasseur de Montreal. This is their Longue Pointe. It's a New World Pilsner that has been hopped with cashmere hops and Sabro, which is very, very strange to have in a Pilsner. I saw that on the can today and I was very confused. It should normally go into a juicy IPA. So I'm going to crack this open. I'm going to ask you the question, though, while I pour this out. And that is, how, drinking so much coffee, how do you sleep?
I do sleep. I never experienced any disorder by drinking coffee at night or something. So probably that's why I drink so much of this. Because I have so many hours looking at screens, because I work with videos and I, well, of course, do all the band scenes and all emails. So I get tired at the right time, having coffee or not. So I will sleep my hours.
Yeah. Wow. You're immune to it. I love it.
Yeah.
It's the black metal.
Yeah, maybe not.
The black metal exhausts you. This is really good. It has a crispy bite. I don't feel that normal Sabro. Sabro normally has a very coconutty vibe. I don't feel it in this. It's cool. I like it. I suggest anyone that can grab one, get one if you're here in Montreal or in Quebec. It's very good from Brasseur de Montreal. Let's Dan, as you were mentioning that every one of these festivals have 2 or 3 bands. It brought up the question of me being from Montreal. It was super, super easy to start making projects, to start jamming with people, to find people that fit the need of a creative vision that I had. How easy was it for you in Portugal to find members that were like-minded to create Gaerea? I
got tired because I stepped away a bit from making music when I finished my cinema degree and started to work in my daily job. And after a while, well, of course, as a musician in my bedroom, of course, I wanted a bit more. So, yeah, I got tired of first getting the band members and then creating the music. So I did the opposite. I created the EP. One of the members joined in and recorded some of the parts of the EP with me, and then after having the EP ready, we started to gather some people and trying to build a lineup for shows. At first, of course, it was cool. Just some experiments. As all projects, we didn't know if we were actually playing live or something. But we did it this way. First, creating the music, putting the music out, and then with that small hype around it, it will be easier to get people involved.
That, and did it come from the fact that when you did it the previous way, you would get into a jam room, start writing some music with some other musicians, and then everybody's creative input wasn't going towards the direction that you were satisfied with?
It's very hard for us to write music while rehearsing, man. It's all over the place. It's all messy because everybody's super creative, but we just prefer to keep it to ourselves and then recording it on our own, and then we share ideas when we have proper songs on our own. Otherwise, it's just too messy. And these days, we're just recording to prepare for shows, to rehearse the live experience, experimenting with the set. We don't have that much time in our rehearsals to just drop everything and write music. We prefer to do it on our vacations, on our own, on our home studios, and then we share some ideas. It's easier that way. It's less chaotic that way. And it's what's been working for us.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? You mentioned that you studied in cinema and you do a bunch of video. Is that where the whole Gaerea visual aspects of the band, you guys really portray a certain image? Tell me about that. How did that all come together? Is it something that you discovered working in cinema?
Well, I work with bands on my daily basis. And I've been doing music videos for my daily work for a good while, like 5 or 6 years. And that's what maybe brought me back to making music because, well, you see all these nice people doing nice stuff, and you also want to do it at some extent and try new things with things that you learn from these awesome people. So yeah, it's a normal thing, I guess. But all the visual aspect is something that it's been growing in the band. We started with the masks. We didn't want. At first, we just didn't want to be known as me, the music video guy, or the other guys for their stuff. At first, it's just the music, and we wanted people to focus on the music because in the beginning, when we were taking the first photos and the first videos, we didn't have the live situation well thought, and we didn't want to play the live that much. So everything in this band has been evolving, and our need to become a touring band, and of course, all the visual aspect. It's been a fight between our concept that's been also developing since mostly the first album, the Unsettling Whispers album, and comfort playing live. So we've been developing the masks way better because we move a lot on stage and we sweat a lot, and we exchanged some small things, some things for the concept, some things for merely visual stuff, because I do believe visual stuff not always have to be all related to the most conceptual thing ever. Sometimes it's just something that works live and looks good, and it's comfortable for what we need to do. So we exchanged, for example, the shirts for other type of stage clothes. So yeah, it's been something that we've been thinking since mostly the Unsettling Whispers album. So we have the EP way back in 2016, where we started to experiment a lot of things and some riffs, ideas. But I would say the very beginning of this Vortex Society concept starts in 2018 with a more, matured look of what we could do. And it's been something that has lived inside this band until LIMBO. And LIMBO is a different perspective of what we saw in the Unsettling Whispers album's concept.
Very cool, and it's true that you had to tour to really know what these stage get-ups and props are going to take. Sometimes like you can have like the best stage setup, but if you're an opening act, you might not actually have the time during a changeover to get all that stuff up there.
Yeah, we do hate to be the unprofessional band on the bill. We do hate to be late. We do hate to be the complicated band in the bill, in the bus or whatever. We want to be the most professional and practical guys that stay in the corner, and when we're called, we will be there, do our things, sell our merchandise, get back to the van on time, and then go. We don't want to be the messy guys that take a lot of time on stage and do horrible long time sound checks. We prefer to not sound check and have those nice things if we know that we will be the guys that arrive on time, play our 40 minutes or 45 or whatever time show, and leave on proper time.
Absolutely, and bands talk to each other, and those stories of bands that take too long to change over.
It's horrible.
That are unprofessional, because it is a job at the end of the day, being a touring musician, and we all talk to each other.
Yeah, it's fucking horrible. Of course, it's just details, and it's those behind the scenes stuff that people don't see, because people enter, they see the shows, they buy some merch, they go away and speak good of the show or bad. They don't see all the relationships inside the bands and between tour managers and backline rental services. So we, from our small experience touring, we always decided to be the most practical guys on tour and not ask too many stupid or ridiculous questions, know our shit, and do the best we can to not bother anyone, because we know it's fucking horrible to be on the road for a lot of days straight. Low time sleeping, and we understand all of that, because we're also part of that. So we try not to be the annoying guys on tour.
Any young bands that are listening, that is absolute great advice. And if I could add something, it would be just be helpful.
Yeah.
Be there, be present. And if you see anybody needs help, you offer that help and you will be remembered.
Yeah, if you use face paint and if you use props, try to have them ready before the show. So you just take them, leave it there, and start the show. Don't go on stage and start to rap all the things and all the symbols, and it's fucking horrible. It's one of those things that you learn on your first tour, and it's one of those things that you keep for life, because nobody wants to delay a show 10 or 20 minutes because the drummer is still setting up their cymbals. So it's one of those things that you can be prepared off stage. So.
That's correct. And the tour manager, if he is a good tour manager, will cut your set so that the headliner goes on at the time that he's supposed to go on, or they're supposed to go on. We're still
the opening acts on most things.
That works out well, so you have time to set up.
But we try to be the most helpful to the other bands, of course, if they are polite enough and respect us. We've been fortunate enough to work with very, very nice people, and we are friends for life with these bands. So yeah, we got lucky until now.
It's true. But honestly, out of all the years that I've been doing touring since 2008, I think was my first big real tour, everybody that I've toured with has been cool. There's this, maybe a few instances, but even then it might have just been a bad day. Speaking about touring, I want to give a shout out to the man who introduced me to you guys, and that is Jerry Monk, who is my music professor. Every week he sends me new releases which have come out, and he is a part of the Vox&Hops Thirsty Thursday gang, which we hang out on Thursdays and we drink some craft beer and we talk about life and metal. And Jerry Monk is the music professor. He sends me amazing stuff every single week, so shout out to Jerry. And he was absolutely right about Limbo. Let's talk about releasing a record during a pandemic and not being able to tour it. How do you feel about that? What is your mindset with that?
Well, I'm very optimistic because I know no other way with this thing, and I learned that if we were not going to delay this album, because I really didn't want to do that, because it's not that it took us a longer time, but I guess we released this album late July, and in July 2014 or 19 we were recording it, so it was this 1 year preparation to have a record deal and recording it, and well, all those things that people already know. But still, I didn't want to postpone this to 2021, because we had this European tour coming in January, and we were starting to feel that the Unsettling Whispers album was getting a bit stuck on the road. We felt like we needed to, with this fresh hype around the Season of Mist announcement and the last tour we did with Doomstar Bookings in Europe, we felt like this was the exact time, pandemic or not, to release this album, and we were going to adapt, and that's what we did. And it's been reflecting on streams and merch sales, the album sales. We're being fortunately selling out everything that we put out. So yeah, because I don't know if it's been like this for all other bands. Of course, people stayed at home. People got some time to listen to new music. And of course, in the beginning, people spent a lot of time on merchandise. We saw that happening. Not like right now, but in the beginning, people just went nuts with supporting bands, which was super, super incredible to see and to experience. But yeah, we had to adapt, and I think the worst time right now, the worst moments right now will be from July 24th, because we have the album out and now we can't tour. So we are planning new visuals, like I just said. We have the two LIMBO release shows coming up in Portugal next month, and I'm working 24/7 to try to make it happen, because it's fucking awful to work with these restrictions. I don't know what's happening in Canada. We are allowed to do shows, but well, so many restrictions, so many stupid fucking shit happening. But still, we have one of the shows, it's sold out. The other one is not sold out because we can't promote it that much, because we don't know if it's going to happen. We're still waiting for confirmations from venues. Otherwise, I know that people would already sell out the show, because it's for 100 or something people, so it's not hard to sell it out. But yeah, it's our struggle right now to keep above the line, and because we don't want to become an online band, we will not do live streams. Having these new Facebook restrictions or not, I still have to study them, because everything feels very weird right now, and everybody's super nervous and stressful on the internet, and I'm trying to keep away from that. So yeah, we don't want to be an online band. We want to tour, so let's try to get this fucking virus away from society as soon as we can. So
absolutely,
I don't know what the future holds for us in the next 6 months. I don't know if that tour in January is actually going to happen. I'm afraid not, but I'm trying to keep optimistic, and we will, of course, find ways within our fan base, our small headquarters, to release new content. And but still, as I said, I don't think this band works as an online streaming band because of our concept, because of our, well, explosive live experiences. I don't know if it would work. I don't think we will do that. So
I completely agree, and think the same thing for Cryptopsy. I can't imagine conveying the same energy looking into a camera lens for a live show I can understand doing it for a video clip because you do the same song, the same part over and over again, and the guy just edits it and takes the best takes. But to do a whole show and to try to connect with it's a huge audience, live streams, but to actually connect with them, very difficult. These shows that you are organizing, I imagine that the capacity has been cut down drastically because that's what's happening here in Canada.
Yeah, we got moved. Fortunately, we are talking about 2 really, really nice venues in Porto and Lisbon. Probably the best ones around for where underground music can play. One of them we were booked to we are organizing it ourselves, so we got the small room in the beginning of May, and right now we got moved to the big room where Gaerea or Ghost plays when they are in
Very
town.
cool.
So a very, very nice venue with very good PA, very good sound system, very good lights, very good accommodations. So yeah, awesome. But still, it's a 1,000 capacity room reduced to like 110 and seated.
Cool. Yeah,
So
I
it's
get it.
seated people at tables. So yeah, we're transforming it on our own to an exclusive event. We have special bundles and special treats for each and everybody that bought the ticket. So we are trying to make these people comfortable and have this intimate show because it's the best we can do. We can't portray this as a normal show because it's not.
No, absolutely no. And even for you guys, it's going to be a strange experience. It'll still be exhilarating, which is something that I miss, is that playing live, getting the hairs on my arms standing up, tingle moments. That's the thing that I miss. Luckily, I still do these interviews, and right before I sit down, I'm like, is the guy going to connect? Did I do enough research? Is it going to be an okay interview? That gives me that sort of feeling. How have you been filling that void?
Oh, well, I don't know. Maybe my optimism is hiding a bit of that. I'm really looking forward to these shows, man. I really hope they can happen. Still, if they can't happen, I will not be the bitch that goes to the internet fucking up with the government, because I don't think that's the right move.
There's too much negativity out there.
Yeah, even though I do not agree with a lot of the cultural financial support within this country. I think it's been a very corrupt move in a lot of fronts. It's for another conversation, but yeah, I think it's like that in most countries. But still, we are leaving something that this generation, this century, never lived before. It's new to everybody. It's new to me, you, the political party ruling the country. So everybody's super fucking stressed out. So I know it's hard. And us as a society, we need to know our rights. We need to fight for them. Our freedom needs to be the first thing at all times. That's what we must fight for. But still, we have to believe it's something that it's real. And fortunately, we don't have too many skeptical people here in Portugal for the virus and all this pandemic. Everybody's being quite cooperative with the mask situation and, not gathering too many people and, being supportive of these regulations. But still, we want shows back. We want museums back. We want some people want sports back. They want to watch their sports live. And I'm not a sports guy, but I do understand that, because it must be the same thing that people feel for concerts.
Mm-hmm. It's a part of our culture.
Yeah, it's that adrenaline that we are being away from. So, let's do our best. And I don't think being a horrible person on the internet complaining about everything will help. So Well, let's try the best way we can to have this fucking virus out.
Yes, please. Yes. One last question. If you could, and if you can, and you will, what would be the perfect launch for Limbo Tour? What would the lineup be? What bands would be there where you think that you could portray Limbo in its best justice to the perfect crowd by scooping up a bunch of fans of bigger bands?
Well, if we wouldn't have this pandemic, we would on the 24th we would be at Gotham performing the album, and we would be on this whole week festival experience, not sleeping and just playing the album live. So not having that, I think we are in very good terms with the tour that we have coming up in January, because we're playing with two of the most successful and most friendly and nice bands around in our genre with Harakiri and Shamash. So I'm good with that. I'm very good with that. When we are very looking forward to this tour happening in January, or just being delayed to a fucking year or something. This will fucking happen. If it depends on us, it will happen. And that lineup is it rips, man. It's an incredible lineup, and we are very grateful to be part of that.
That sounds great. Absolutely. Everyone, please go check out Limbo. It came out via Seasons of Mist last July, on July 24th. It is out there on all streaming. Go pick it up. Check the web store. Pick up a vinyl. Pick up some merch. Support Gaerea. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with me, talk about life, metal, while I drank a craft beer, and you had some coffee. I really, really appreciate it. Cheers.
Cheers, man.
Hey, thank you all so much for listening right to the end. You know that I love and appreciate that. Such a great chat. You never know what you're going to get when you set up an interview with a fully anonymous, masked band. You don't know who that person is, and you don't know what kind of a person that's going to be. But I was very lucky that the member that I got to speak to was an absolutely great human. We had an excellent chat. And I am an even bigger Gaerea fan now than I was when I started the interview, so that's always a pleasure, and I love it. You should absolutely go check out Limbo, their new record, which came out via Season of Mist. It is a rager of an album, and it will be on many people's year-end lists. I can guarantee that. I hope that you guys have a great weekend. I hope you guys get to relax a little bit. I myself am feeling a little bit overwhelmed and ran down, but with rest shall come greater resurgence, and I am stoked about that. Looking forward to kick back, enjoy a few craft beers. Hypothetically, go hit up my favorite craft beer store here in Villeray, Montreal, La Canette, and pick up a few brews so that I can just relax a little bit. Don't forget that Vox&Hops is brought to you by Sound Talent Media. I will be back with you next week with 2 episodes, but until then, remember to enjoy life, metal, and craft beer. Cheers, Vox&Hops heads.